Greetings, class. Welcome to today's session. So, in today's session, we're going to be talking about one of the most important parts when it comes to video production as well. One of this most important aspect of video production is location. So, in this session, we'll talk about location scouting and storytelling. So, in this presentation, we'll explore the crucial role of location scouting and setup in creating authentic and impactful African storytelling. We'll delve into finding the perfect settings, capturing cultural nuances, and adapting to the environment to create compelling narratives that resonate with viewers. Just to explain that, we are contextualizing our location scouting to Africa and mostly to where we reside. So basically your surrounding, wherever you are. So we are contextualizing your surrounding and how we can use that surrounding to make sure that we create competitive narratives that resonate with the viewers. Okay, so when it comes to choosing locations, uh, there are some three key points that you need to take away from this. First of all, authenticity. We can also call that originality. So, choose a location that represents the story's context, whether it's a bustling marketplace or a serene desert landscape. In this case, for example, you are creating a movie or a music video that has something to do with maybe an old story and something which is vintage. Make sure that the location that you choose works with your story. For example, you can shoot it in a village so that it goes with the story that you're trying to tell. All right. So if it's something modern, then you shoot your movie or your music video or whatever content you're shooting. You're going to shoot it in the CBD, the Central Business District, so that it works with your context. So that's what we mean when we talk about authenticity. And the other point is visual interest. So seek locations with unique textures, colors, and patterns that add depth and intrigue to the visuals. I think for that, it's just a matter of being creative with your locations. Choose your locations wisely and make sure that they are unique. So that's what we mean by that point, the visual interest. Another point is storytelling power. Consider how the environment contributes to the narrative, evoking emotions and enhancing the story's impact. So just the surrounding, maybe there are some artworks or some historical landscapes or landmarks, things like those, they'll help with the storytelling power of your story. So consider the environment and how it will contribute. So capturing authenticity. 1. Research and collaboration. Thorough research and collaboration with local communities ensure respect and accuracy in portraying cultural practices. For example, here, when you're shooting content, for example, in a village, you see that don't go there with an agenda. For example, if you this scene which is on the left, if everyone was barefooted, it would give a certain picture that all the people in the village maybe they don't wear shoes. So when you're shooting, make sure that you are paying attention to detail and things like that. Portray it accurately. Yeah, and don't distort any cultural practices. 2. Authentic props and costumes. So using genuine props and costumes adds realism and elevates the storytelling experience, and also honoring cultural heritage. I think for that one is self-explanatory. So use genuine props. When they talk about props, they're talking about things which you will be using to add to the storytelling, things that you come in with. For example, if you're portraying the Ngoni culture, then you know that they usually carry bows and arrows. So those are some of the props which you need to have when you're shooting that content in that Ngoni village. So respectful representation. Portraying cultural elements with sensitivity and accuracy is essential to avoid misrepresentation or stereotypes. If you don't respect representation, the content that you're shooting will end up catching backlash. So also think about lighting and framing. Things like natural light. Leverage natural light for authentic ambience and to create such stunning visual effects, capturing the beauty of the African landscape. So natural light is always the best light. This is the light which is natural. In basically, we are talking about the sunlight. So this one will also create a very great ambience when it comes to your content. Also think about framing. So use framing techniques to create a sense of depth and visual interest, focusing on the story's key elements. Okay? Another point is visual contrast. So play with contrast and light to create dynamic and captivating scenes, highlighting the textures and the patterns of the environment. So work with contrast, light and dark. Work with that, be creative, and see the kind of effects that will happen. For example, if for example there's what we call the golden hour, like when the sun is coming out in the morning and when the sun is going down in the evening, like for example around maybe 5 or 4, around there. If your character is if you're shooting your camera from this side and the sun is on the left side and your character is also directly in front of the sun and it's during the golden hour, there'll be an effect of that the character will just turn into a silhouette. You see that the character will just be black. So things like that. Work with those contrasts and just be creative and experiment. So managing environmental factors and adapting to climate. So when it comes to locations as well, things that you need to consider are weather, wildlife, and terrain. So in terms of weather, be prepared for unpredictable weather conditions, scheduling filming around peak seasons and utilizing weather resistant equipment. For example, if you don't want any rains, you can try and schedule your shooting around maybe October so that it is very sunny. The chances of it raining are very, very minimal. So that's what they mean when they say utilize peak seasons. Wildlife. Respect wildlife encounters, working with experienced guides to ensure safety and minimize disruption to animal habitats. So if you're shooting your movie in the forest and stuff, don't disrupt the animal habitats. So make sure that you respect wildlife. Terrain. Scout for accessible locations and plan transportation for equipment and crew, ensuring safety and efficiency during production. So even if you don't have a crew, it's just you shooting. Make sure that you've researched well, you know how the location works, how to get there, how to get out of it, and be safe. So you need to research. For example, you're shooting your movie or video or anything, for example, the next month. Make sure like a month prior or so, you've done your research, you have been at the location, and you know how to maneuver that location. So make sure that you pay close attention to this. So here are some techniques when it comes to scouting. Area scouting. Drones provide a unique perspective, revealing hidden beauty and identifying potential storytelling locations. So if you do have access to things like drones, you can use them to scout for locations. If you don't have them, it's fine. Even on foot, sometimes you just take a walk, go around the neighborhood and stuff, find good locations. Good locations don't come by chance, they come from discovery. So you need to discover them and know that there's an unfinished building somewhere here, it can probably work for the kind of video that I'm shooting, things like that. So ground level explanation is what that is, the one which you just walk through the location. Local expertise. Collaborate with local guys to understand the area's history, tradition, and hidden gems. Ask people around your area, they might tell you of some locations which can help you shoot your content. So setting up scenes. Make sure that you're blending your story and the setting. Props and sets. We already talked about props. So choose props and sets that authentically reflect the story's context, just like we said, while maintaining a cohesive visual aesthetic. The aesthetic is the whole vibe of the content that you're shooting. Sound design. Record ambient sounds and natural elements to enhance the setting's realism, immersing viewers in the environment. We'll look into that even further as we are going into the practicals in the next sessions. So sound is very important when it comes to visuals. So work with sound. Camera angles. We talked about the angles yesterday or in the previous lesson. So experiment with camera angles and perspectives to create dynamic visuals that tell the story effectively. So when it comes to the production workflow, so make sure that you plan and schedule, you communicate and coordinate, and make sure that there's sustainability and respect. When planning, make sure that you develop a comprehensive plan for location scouting and setup, ensuring efficient use of resources and time. So you know that the location is located this far. Make sure that the transport is there in time. You know what to do. If it's 3 locations, you have timed it properly. We'll be here at 1 hour, at the next destination 2 hours, and the like, so that you save time and resources, and communicate well with the communities where you are going to shoot. Okay, so if you're, for example, I'll give you an assignment in these coming weeks where you need to go shoot something in the communities. Make sure that before you start shooting, you alert the people that we are shooting something here. Don't just start shooting. Sustainability and respect. Practice environmental responsible production methods, minimizing impact and leaving locations pristine. If you go shooting somewhere, for example, you are shooting an advert about someone maybe drinking something like a juice. After that, make sure that you pick up the bottle. Don't drop the bottle there. So leave the locations as you found them, or even better. Yeah, so that's it for this session. Feel free to contact me with any questions. I'll be consolidating them, then we'll respond to other questions. Also, when we do the live class, we'll also be able to respond to most of those questions. Thank you so much and have a good one.